Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast. I am your host, Medusa Asadam, here to give water signs a general reading for this week. Keep in mind, water signs, this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. And also, this reading will be timeless. I will be pulling energies from the past, present, and future, so just take it however it resonates, only if it resonates. Water signs, if you're interested to see what the cards have in store for you this week, then definitely stay tuned. Okay, water signs. So we're going to start off by pulling the external energies that may be affecting you by ways of people, places, or things, situationships, relationships, partnerships, soloships. And although throughout the reading I may pull a particular zodiac sign, it may represent you, person of interest, timeline, or influence. So do check your houses if you're into that sort of thing. Make sure you read the description of the episode so you know everything you need to know in regards to receiving personal readings from me. You can contact me in the email box, in the email I provide in the description box of this episode, okay? And lastly, disclaimer, I'm just a regular person who loves to pull cards and interpret it to the best of my ability, so don't ever feel obligated to listen to anything I say. Do your own research, okay? With all that being said, let's get started, okay? So water signs, that is Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy. Okay, we're going to use the Voodoo Tarot deck to get the external energies, and then we'll dig a little bit deeper using the Vanessa Tarot, and then we'll take a break, get the advice from Spirit using the Whispers of Lord Ganesha, as well as the Mystic Monday crystal / gemstone cards, and then we'll close it out with some gratitude affirmation cards. Sorry, I'm back in my space again, so everything, like you'll hear the chair again and all that stuff like that. So yeah. Let's see what's going on here for you guys. Water signs. Oh, we got a card coming out already. All right. Ooh, we have the sun. So love here. We have some representation of love here. Okay. And providing energy that is necessary to continue life. Like, you know, breathing life into situations. There's a lot of success here. There's a lot of happiness and joy. Okay, but okay, plot twist. There's a little bit of rage, borderline hatred going on here. Okay, this could be in some way, shape, or form tainting or infecting. Okay, and so let's see here. It could be in regards to it could be some kind of what do you like when your body goes through a period of sickness in order to kind of cleanse or whatever. But it really feels like a person can allow their pride, right, to really kind of get in the way, and kind of spearhead this like rage and the actions that follow suit with that rage. Okay, so be careful when it comes down to the emotions this week. Okay, don't like it could be this energy of like being like pretty impulsive here as well. Okay, yeah, it's like blinded by rage or borderline hatred or the delusion of hatred. Okay, so let's see what's going on here towards a person or a situation. All right, let's see. Okay, we have here. So I feel like there's this need to kind of combat that. We have two things that can kind of balance each other out, where it's like on one side it's all about like just love and emotions that are more so positive, more so poetic and romantic in that sense of just wanting things to have a happy ending, being able to overcome obstacles, challenges, situations, wanting to see the good in things and in people and in oneself. And then there's the other part of a person, right? It could be triggered by some kind of experience of some sort where a person can be enraged and prideful and not wanting to let love win. It's just more so like, no, I'm upset, I'm mad, so I want to have tantrums. I want to stomp. I want to just be. I don't want to be. Uh, I don't want to be peaceful. I feel. So let's see here. Let's get into the tarot. Let's see what's going on here in the tarot. If you hear any noise in the background, you guys know that's my kids. So I do apologize for that. So we start off here, okay, with the Emperor in the reverse. All right, so listen. When the Emperor is in the reverse, it's not necessarily that great, right? It's really just upheaval. Okay, it's uproar. It's what would cause a person to want to storm the capital or to want to destroy, right? It really feels in that sense like a person has lost a sense of control, whether that's emotionally or whether it's over like in regards to one's life. So there is this need to preserve one's life or dignity or whatever that is in a way, form, or fashion that is destructive in a sense, right? And so it's like with this Emperor in the reverse, it's giving me the energy of like when a person has gotten to that point where they feel the need to act out or to do things, instead of a person just like looking at their circumstances and saying like, okay, well, how can I maneuver? How can I do good? How can I get better at something, get stronger? How can I utilize this for my benefit so that I can become smarter, faster, wiser, whatever? This is more so along the lines of like, okay, like this situation sucks. And so I don't care about like being the bigger person. I don't care about doing what's right. Like I just want to create war. I just want to create upheaval. I just want to create destruction. Okay. The Emperor is very much in that space of stability, structure, discipline, order. Okay. And very much communal, is that the right word? But it's just more so along the lines of that leadership that benefits oneself, but also the community, and recognizing that the community has importance in their rulership, in their you know, in regards to the reasonings behind their reign, right? But this is very much selfish based, very much like not necessarily like it's a disconnect between the Emperor and its kingdom, okay? Whether that's people, right? Whether it's the community, whether it's their empress, right? Whether it's their company, whatever, right? Whether it's themselves as well. Okay, let's see. Let's keep going here. Okay, we have here the Page of Wands here, Leo energy. Okay, then we also have here the Three of Wands. And so I feel like when it comes down to this particular situation, Leo energy is very childlike, very much dealing with children. Okay, and also too with the Three of Wands, it's this energy of being able to see the horizon, right? See, like look out and see the sun either setting or rising or whatever. Like it depends on like a person's perspective in regards to how they are viewing what's in front of them or what's coming, what's to come. Okay, and so I feel like these things could be at play here. And with this Emperor here in the reverse, it's this energy where it just kind of feels like there is, when a person is kind of like looking out towards things, is a lack of being able to be prepared or accept. Okay, it's a situation where a person's kind of looking at something and they just don't understand. They don't see like they're having trouble being able to find the silver lining or find the horizon or find anything. It's kind of like a glass half empty, half full kind of thing. A person might be seeing the situation from a glass half empty standpoint. Okay, so let's see, what is the challenge? What is the challenge? The challenge here, we have the Queen of Wands, okay, and then also to the King of Wands. So it could be a relationship of some sort, okay. Queen of Wands, Sagittarius energy, King of Wands, Aries energy again. So once again, that Aries energy is in the reverse. So if this is dealing like with a relationship of some sort, it's a relationship, a kind of connection where there, the masculine energy within this dynamic is very much just acting out, very much selfish, very much just really like is also too is like a disconnect within a relationship. There's no productivity in regards to wanting to maintain, uphold, or create a stable, firm, strong relationship or foundation. Okay, if we're talking about the individual person, there's a, when it comes down to the equilibrium of oneself, you can see where the feminine emotions are more so upright, whereas the masculinity, okay, or the masculine energy is imbalanced. So it's like going down, right? So if you think about it, a scale, right? It's just more so the masculine energy is tilted down. So when you think about masculine energies, right, it's very much along the lines of just how things are being able to process, right, problem solving, communication, and leadership in that sense of creating foundations or laying down foundations, solidifying things and all that stuff like that, right? We usually need to have the masculine energy in order to pull the creativity from the feminine energy down and kind of like create those building blocks, right? And this is how we can work hand in hand, right? But because they're like it with this masculine energy in the reverse, it feels like a person kind of has called out, right? Where it's just like, we're creating this website, we're creating this business here, we're creating this, we're trying to do this, but it's like my other partner is just not participating, whether they're not picking up their phone calls, right? They're not answering their emails, they're not, doing their side of the project, right? Like, have you ever had a class project or a group project, right, where one of the persons is just not doing their job, right? And so it's just like, oh my goodness, like, what are we gonna do, right? And so I feel like when it comes down to this, there can be a lot of like issues in regards to how, if it's like an external like relationship, how a feminine can kind of perceive the situation, right? Especially when it's Queen of Wands, right? Queen of Wands is very much in that space of, I can do this by myself if I have to. I can take control. Like, it's very much very confident, right? And so depending on how a person may have gotten to that space, maybe like it could be like issues in regards to dominancy or rulership or whatever, right? Where it's like things can kind of clash. So however this kind of got here, I guess we'll see in the past, but it really just kind of feels like a person is just absent, okay? Or there's an aspect of oneself that's just not willing to participate. Okay, overcoming this challenge. What's going on here? All right, so a person decides to overcome the challenge, right, with the High Priestess, so Pisces energy. And so, like, to me, it kind of feels like it's more so like silent mode, right? Very much individualistic in that sense. And it's just like, I'm just going to do my own thing, right? And so this is where like if this is like a relationship kind of thing, it's like, okay, I'm just going to separate myself and just do what I need to do for self. So the union, right, can be like not necessarily at stake, but it can be like a situation where it's kind of like the boat is being rocked, or things are being tested. If it's just more so one person, and it's an issue between, you know, that masculine and feminine energy, right? It's different, because there could be a part of oneself that decides to shut another part of oneself out or down, right? And so when a person can just be highly emotional, right, they don't want to see logic and reason, right? And like, we need to be able to have both these things so we can be able to maintain and see, you know, things more clearly. Okay. And so, like, it kind of feels like it's like thinking with only one side of the brain, seeing with only one side of the eye, of the pair of eye, right? It kind of feels like that, where it's like when it's like together, it's better. But then when there's like dysfunction or whatever, it just makes things a little bit more difficult. And so we have this situation here where we're dealing with where we're struggling with the idea, or we're struggling, like, there's like a versus here between love and hate. Okay, it could be self-love, self-hate, things that we're doing that promote self-love or self-hate, where one person is trying to produce and create love, and then there is another person within this same relationship that's just acting from hate or rage or whatever. And so either way, like, there needs to be some kind of leveling out, some kind of balancing. Okay, because when we're being realistic, right? Like, love and hate, they exist, right? All these kinds of things exist in this realm, right? Its access is accessible, right? But if we're creating a space of just too much love, right, that doesn't prepare us for everything else that's out there in the world. But if we rely solely on hate, that doesn't create anything constructive, right? It just creates destruction, right? And so I feel like what needs to be leveled is just more so along the lines of just being really realistic, being like just completely honest in regards to like behaviors, and how like maybe love is creating too much of high expectations, right? And then hate is a thing that's kind of creating something that's just like the bar is just so low that it just makes a person just feel hopeless. It's like, before I can even start the race, like, I'm already being counted out. And so, like, there really needs to be a leveling here, a balance in here, okay? And I feel like that could be an issue of some sort, right? So let's see here. What is going on here with this foundation? I know I said a lot of things, but let's see what's going on in regards to the foundation of this reading. All right, so we have here the Star, King of Cups, Scorpio energy, Wheel of Fortune. Okay. The Fool and Ten of Wands. So I feel like when we're talking about the situation here, Aquarius energy for the Star. I just kind of want to look at this a little bit. So we have a dynamic here where it's very much along the lines of wanting to, like, it really like with this Star card, it's really giving me this energy of like independence, and very much like I can do this, you know, by myself, or it really, it just kind of feels like really free spirited in some ways. Like, it feels really free spirited. But I feel like when it's being looked upon, when this Star card is being looked upon, it can kind of feel ridiculous, right? Like, she's sitting out here in the middle of the night with her bikini on, a pail, and something to scoop the water up. And so it really feels like the way it's being perceived, like this person can be living in the clouds, can be wasting time, wasting space, like it could be like judged also, like, whereas this person is just like delusional or just unconventional or just it just kind of gives me those kind of vibes. Next to this Queen of Cups, King of Cups here, this King of Cups is sitting on the throne with a bottle and a glass, a wine glass. It feels like in both ways it's being perceived as like just this is the level of seriousness. It seems to be pretty low here. Okay, it seems to be pretty low. So both people, if these are two individuals or one person, it really just feels like the level of seriousness is just really low. Okay. And then we have here the Wheel of Fortune, the Fool. Okay, 10 of Wands. To me, what really comes about is the need to be able to get serious in regards to handling responsibilities, okay? Doing what needs to be done in order to complete whatever it is that needs to be completed. So it's a lot of playing around, not taking things seriously, not recognizing responsibilities or handling things in a proper way. Okay, so it's like kind of like with the relationship, like if a person is in a marriage and the marriage is like not at a good space, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to ignore this person. We're just like, this is not just about you. This is about everything that you're supposed to be learning. When you decide to sign a contract, a marriage contract, it's in sickness and in health till death do us part. And it's being able to kind of take that and understand, like, this could be like an oath kind of thing. Like, it's like taking an oath. Like, it's like, this is what you're abiding by. So this is what you have to understand and abide by that contract, right? If a person was to sign a contract at a workplace and then they never show up, there are consequences to that. Like, you can get fired, or, you know, like if you take out a loan and you don't pay it back and all that, like, there's consequences, right? There might not be as much severe consequences in regards to marriage, but that could affect the family, that could affect the children, that could affect, you know, people outside of you guys, and it could affect the individual, right? And so I feel like with this Wheel of Fortune, the Fool, 10 of Wands, it's about like, listen, like, let's get serious with being able to create a better outcome in the future, for whatever kind of foundations or whatever, whether if it is a marriage or whatever. Like, it's like, okay, bills have piled up, my responsibilities have piled up, I have to deal with it. And it really just kind of feels like that. We're just like, whether it is I'm feeling, however it is that I'm feeling emotionally, or whatever it is that I feel about life or about people or about my situation or circumstances, right? It's like, at the end of the day, like, life stops for no one and things still have to get done. So it's this energy of just getting to it. Whether you complain or not, it's just like my kids, like they complain, but it's like, well, you still gotta wash up. Like, you gotta wash up. You still gotta do your schoolwork. You still gotta go to sleep. You still gotta do all these things. You may be complaining on the way there, but you have to get it done. And then when you get it done, it's like all those emotions, all that anger, right? That's just like all that stuff, right? That raised those tantrums, and wherever it is as tantrums like is triggered by or derived from, it's like it goes away because it's like it got done. I feel a lot better. It feels nice to go to bed clean. It feels nice to do my homework. It feels nice to get a good grade. It feels nice to be in a happy, loving, healthy relationship. It feels nice to have a job and a steady income, be able to pay my bills and live by myself and blah, 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 blah. it feels nice to do those things, right? And so it's like at the end of the day, however you feel, like it's like it has to get done. Some way, somehow it has to get done, right? Okay, so let's see here. In the past. In the past. All right. Oop. So in the past here, we have the Page of Swords. So Libra energy. Okay. Libra energy. We also have here Six of Wands. Okay. And then we also have here Six of Cups. So I feel like it's like a reality check that kind of comes through here. Okay, it's like a reality check where it's just like a person may have have been striving to do or live out something, and then like the actual, one of the things that I just seen a clip from, it was just a small clip, but Jay-Z was talking about something, and he said something along the lines of life happens to you, life happens for you, not to you, and we need to be in the mindset of understanding that. And then he was saying how there is a saying that was like, when you tell God your plans, God laughs, or God laughs when you tell him your plans, or something like that. It's like we think that we know, right, exactly what it is that what's right, what's best for us, or what it is that we want to do. We think that we know, but we have to understand, like, we've gone through a whole bunch of like programming and influence, where it's like society tells us like, this is what you should look like. This is what you should do. This is what will make you happy. This is what will have you accepted in society. This is the best. This is the woman of the year. This is the best looking or the sexiest man of the year, or whatever the case may be. Right? You should buy this. This would be, this is the kind of house you want. If you want to make this amount of money, you should do this, right? Like and then we go to school, we're just bombarded with all these kinds of programs. So it's like we lose sight of what it is that we actually, our sense of selves. And so it's like, as we grow up, it's like, oh, I want to do this. And then when it doesn't happen, then it's just like, oh, that sucks. Like, that's so unfair. Like, I wanted to live my life this way. And then that's not the case. Oh, life is just so hard, and life is just so rude and cruel, and God, why'd you do this to me? And blah, blah, blah. It becomes the blame game instead of us recognizing like, okay, well, you know what, honestly, like, this is not the kind of person that I think I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the universe or God or spirit or ancestors or whatever it is that you guys believe in, if they were really, gave me the green light or opened that door for me to do that, like, I don't think I really truly have the heart for it. I don't think I have the personality for it. I don't think that I have the discipline for that. So a lot of times we think that we want to do certain things, and then we find out that that's not the case. And then we realize, like, I'm actually happy I didn't go through that, right? And so it's like eventually a person kind of comes around to understanding that, certain things are just not meant to happen because it's just not in the cards for you. And that is okay, right? Like, if that's the case, then we would come onto this world and we would do every single thing, right? Everyone would be lawyers. Everyone would be doctors. Everyone would be teachers. Everyone would be freaking life coaches. Everyone would have interest in, everyone would be adrenaline junkies and jumping off planes and living in the wild and living amongst tigers, lions, and bears. Everyone would be actresses, actors, rappers, singers, dancers, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though we do have access to these if we so choose to exercise that muscle, but it's like, but when we consider the will and the drive, right? Some people just don't have the drive for those things. Some people just don't feel like, like, that's not my forte. That's not my niche. Like, that's not for me. Some people are just not people persons. Some people are just not for the crowd. Some people, just don't feel comfortable doing, a lot of things. And so I feel like it's just really understanding and accepting these kinds of things and being okay. That doesn't take away from a person or anything like that. Like, it just, a person is still who they are. They shouldn't take those things too personal. All right, so let's see here. Heart space in the upside down. We have here the Seven of Swords. Okay, and then we have here the Eight of Wands. So with the Seven of Swords and the Eight of Wands here, it's not necessarily all that great. Okay, when it's in the heart space in the upside down. Eight of Wands, sometimes it's about communication, but it's, traveling and transportation and that sort. But I feel like with this dynamic, it's more so like communication, which ultimately can translate to transportation. Like, a person can transport, right? Just by ways of affirmations, right? Manifestation, spells that, that are casted through like just us speaking things into existence. A person can be transported into a different kind of reality than what they were before. So if a person is constantly talking negatively about their circumstances or whatever, they will eventually find themselves in negative circumstances. If a person is speaking positively about their circumstances and they're constantly instilling positive affirmations and manifestations, then their reality will change to support that. Okay, it's more, it's like I was saying before, it's like a glass half empty, glass half full kind of situation, where it's just like, if you constantly keep telling yourself the glass is half empty, then that is what that's going to be. Okay, and so with the seven of swords here, it's very much in that sense of having a kind of perspective where it's more so like the words or the quote, dog eat dog, kind of comes to mind. It's very much in that space of like not seeing reality from a space of, like I said, love, right? And compassion and unity and togetherness, right? Or success or happiness or whatever the case may be. It's more so along the lines of, I don't see the reality as positively as I would love to. And so in order for a person to be level-headed or grounded, it's always feeling or thinking that, something negative is always bound to happen. And so it's always just being prepared to jump ship. Whenever things just go a little bit rocky, it's like, I'm out of here. Like, it's that level of self-preservation, where it's just like a person doesn't want to, it's like, for instance, and this is just an example, where a person is responsible for another human being. Like, that's a heavy responsibility. I remember when I first had my first kid, I was so nervous. All I said to myself, I just don't want to do anything wrong to hurt the kid. Like, I just want to be able to, keep this kid alive and just do the best that I could. And like, I just didn't want to do anything wrong. And when a person is in that mindset of the Seven of Swords and of Eight of Wands, it could be from that standpoint of like anything could go wrong here. I just don't think I'm cut out for this. And so I can't do it. Right. And then bam, that's how people become single mothers, or kids going, are into the system. Right. Because it's like a person they're looking for an excuse or a way out of a situation that they're dooming as negative, instead of just trying their best to be able to do the best that they can and see that everything works out the way that it's supposed to work out. And so let's see here, heart space in the upright. We have here the Knight of Cups and that was hidden here. King of Swords here, but then we have the Chariot kind of like twirled into the reverse. And so the Chariot is Cancer energy, King of Swords Aquarius energy. So these energies is coming up again. And so in the heart space in the upright, it's more so along the lines of, we have the upside down, we have the upright, and this could be where, things are kind of like battling here. So on one side, it's this energy of like, I got to look out for myself. Like, if this situation is going to, detonate or destruct, I got to get out of here. right? And so on the other side, though, there is a part that wants to be able to pursue, right? For the sake of love, for the sake of happiness, for the sake of joy and success, is being able to succeed in whatever it is that a person is whatever is being bestowed upon a person, right? The King of Swords is very much smart, very much the person you want to go to when there are issues, like diplomatic kind of stuff. It's the go-to person where it's just like, I need help. How can I solve this issue? How can I solve this problem? And the King of Swords is going to be truthful, and they're going to handle whatever challenges that come their way, whether that is difficult, whether it's difficult, challenging, or not, right? They're willing to kind of like do what needs to be done. And they have a lot of experience in being able to succeed in that, whether those are wins or failures, right? But there's so much knowledge that's been built, so much understanding that's been built. And so they're able to sit within that throne, okay? And then they're able to offer their expertise in whatever kind of like battlefield, or offer like good strategic, things in order to solve wars or solve any kind of like challenges, okay? And so when it comes down to the pursuit of love with this Nine of Cups, like we said before, it could be relationships, but it's this energy here of like really wanting to handle these kinds of things. But it's not, it's for the sake right now, it's just more so along the lines of, okay, emotions aside, what is the best way that I can succeed in this situation? Or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, what is the best way? What is the mature way that I can handle this challenge? And it's like very much along that lines of like telling oneself, like, no, I'm not going to allow my emotions to get in the way. This is something that I really need to look into and really just kind of like think on this. Okay. And so with the King of Wands in the reverse, the Emperor here in the reverse, they're very much along the lines of action based, right? But King of Swords is very much along the lines of strategy, strategizing, thinking, rationalizing, reasoning, those kind of things. I feel like with the fire, there is a lot of passion and emotions that is involved with it. But with the King of Swords, there's no emotions involved, right? It's about doing what's right. It's about doing what's just, and that's just that, right? There is no need to be emotional. And I feel like this is what that's saying in the heart space. But the Chariot in the reverse, it's very much along the lines of understanding, right, one's accountability or one's personal journey in life, and how there's an aspect of themselves that is causing a delay or causing immobility when it comes down to progression in one's life, right? And so usually when the Chariot is in the reverse, there is a lot of shadow work that needs to be taken care of and looked into. And a lot of that shadow work deals with, like things that a person is just, like issues that they have, right? That they're just not like recognizing or acknowledging on a day-to-day basis. And so that's that's where a lot of times where a lot of the subconscious and unconscious and repressed and suppressed experiences, emotions kind of like go. Okay. And a lot of times that's where the dragons lurk, the monsters, the demons, right? Of oneself. That's where that resides in. And when that is not being checked, it can surface, right? It's kind of like Night of the Living Dead, whereas like they're not thinking about, the only thing that they're thinking about is consuming, and it's about feeding, right? Everything else, like their brain doesn't operate in any way other than feeding. And when we talk about that from the standpoint of, the inner monster or the inner dragon. It's a lot of like feelings that's been hurt. It's a lot of like parts of oneself that's been hurt and been traumatized and has been damaged. And so there's this need to want to enact revenge. Like someone has to pay for what's being done. But when we ascend and we become more spiritually involved, that's not what that's about. That's more so human based, right? So that's why you see a lot of people when they're like upset or they're angry, they need to hurt other people because they feel like other people need to understand where they're coming from. And so the only way that they can get people to understand them is if they enact that kind of trauma or pain on someone else. But when we become more spiritually ascended, it's not about that. It's about forgiveness. It's about compassion. It's about healing. And it's no one's responsibility but our own. Okay? It's no one's responsibility but our own. And I feel like with the Chariot in the reverse, that's what it's saying. It's like, yes, like someone else manufactured the car or whatever, right? But this is your car. So you go under the hood and figure out what needs to be fixed, right? And so it's like with a tire needing to be changed. You don't know how to fix a tire. Well, let's sit here and let's figure it out, right? And like, we can have someone else do it, but then we're never going to learn. So when we need to fix a tire again, you're going to expect someone else to do it? You know what I'm saying? And so it kind of feels like really it's just self-accountability here. And like, it's like, that's that struggle. And also too, we were talking about the heart space and the upside down. So that 7 of Swords here, 8 of Wands, that can be the issue that a person really needs to deal with. So maybe a person has dealt with abandonment issues before, right? When they were younger, okay? People may have given up on them before. No one has actually truly counted them in because people were just too busy counting them out. Maybe you didn't get picked, right? You weren't the first person to get picked when it was, making dodgeball teams or basketball teams, right? Maybe someone didn't give you a chance. Whatever those things are, that's like something that you have to unpack. And so, yeah. So let's see here. In the future, we have here the Hangman. All right, we have the Hangman here. So that's what we were talking about. So a person decides that they're going to do the work here with this Hangman energy. 2 of Cups, we have the relationship here, the Magician here. Okay. 8 of Coins, Queen of Cups. So it looks as if someone is deciding to make things work. Deciding to make things work. Okay, and it's not about saying like, okay, like this relationship and there needs some work. So you need to go sit down and figure out what's wrong with yourself. No, the Magician card is more so along the lines of just self, right? It's self-empowerment and just, deciding instead of me, I'm going to go quiet, I'm going to do my own thing. It's more so like, no, I'm going to go quiet and I'm going to do my own healing so that I can be able to be productive in regards to being nurturing, compassionate, and loving in that way. Okay, Queen of Cups is Cancer energy. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a break and then we'll come back with the advice from Spirit. All right, so we are here. We're back. I'm pressed for time here because the music is going to start playing soon. And so I'm just going to hurry up. So the advice for water signs, so that's Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy, you guys have here protection and reflection. Okay, so we're going to do reflection number 4. Let's see what that says. Okay, so reflection. So it says here, reflection, honor the wisdom within yourself. Ganesha is here to help you find the truth of who you are, the light of your own soul, and be willing to let it shine. You have reached a point in your life's journey where self-judgment and criticism no longer serve you. It is imperative that you understand and appreciate the distinctive persona that you bring into all situations. Each of us have our own unique path. Through self-awareness and observation, you can see that everyone is working toward the same objective in their own individual path, which ultimately leads to the same higher purpose. You have made great progression in your spiritual path. It's now time to release the need to take responsibility for events and lives that are beyond your control. Recognize the beauty of each of our paths and bless the journey of others. Appreciate silence and allow your inner light to shine out towards others as a means of communication through reflection and visualization. Get in touch with the wise person within you. Okay, let's get the crystal / gemstone cards for you guys. Okay. So you guys have here citrine spirit quartz. So it says here intentional self-awareness and discernment. A centered and empowered stone, citrine quartz asks that you take command over your life. By having clear intentions, you can begin to lead from a grounded and assertive place, giving you the results that complement your needs. Citrine spirit quartz enhances your sense of self-awareness, dissolving apprehension and self-doubt to clear the way for more confidence in your daily life. No matter what material things you may or may not possess, it is highly focused and an excellent stone for planning and goals. So all signs in sun and moon. We have here jade. So wisdom, abundance, good luck. So it says jade is highly prized and sacred, a wonderful stone for protection and healing. Known as a dream stone, jade will stimulate messages and channel them into your dreams when placed on your third eye chakra. The ultimate good luck charm, jade promotes prosperity in every aspect of your life by opening the heart chakra and boosting your ability to receive. Wealth is nothing without your health, and jade is a reminder that this true abundance, amplifying the good fortune of your vitality. Remember, you are a spiritual being having a human experience. So Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Libra, and Venus. And then we're going to close this out with a gratitude card. And we have here, we can only be said to be alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. Okay, so that is all that I have for you all water signs out there. I hope I was able to help you all in any way, shape, or form. Good luck to you all on your amazing journeys. Until next time, peace.